and good morning to all on frequency. This is Keith, Zulu Sierra 6 Hotel India, and the date is, for those who don't know, and it's probably all the retirees, because I know that Monday to Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays are all the same. I'm kidding. I'm also going to be a retiree very soon, but it is the 22nd of February, Sunday the 22nd of February at 08:45. So a very good morning to everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the Sandton Amateur Radio Club Bulletin on this Sunday morning. You are listening to the club station of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, Zulu Sierra 6 Sierra Tango November, which is operated today from the shack of Keith, ZS6 Hotel India. This club bulletin is broadcast every Sunday at 08:45 local time on the following frequencies: 145-700 megahertz FM in the 2-meter band, 7.115 megahertz, a lower side band in the 40-meter band, via a relay from the shack of Knoll ZR6 Delta X-ray. On Echolink, ZS6STN-R or L nodes, and our all-star connected node which goes through to a number of repeaters around the country. For those that may have missed the bulletin or bulletins previously, the recordings are uploaded to the club's YouTube channel on youtube.com/@ZS6STN, together with the recordings of the club's Power Hour Tech Talks. The agenda for this bulletin today: we will look at the SARL news. We will then have a look at our club birthdays, our club news, and a special topic of interest, and then we will have call-ins and swap shop on both 40 meters and the repeater network. So let's commence with the SARL bulletin. The South African Radio League news for Sunday, 22 February 2026. Good morning and welcome to the weekly news bulletin of the SA Radio League, read by Keith, ZS6HI from Fourways in Johannesburg. In the news today: the Sandton Power Hour Tech Talk on Wednesday evening, and the 2024 solar eclipse course changes in long path HF propagation, and which club will be featured in the March 2026 Radio ZS. Stay tuned for more information on these and other interesting news items. We commence with the Sandton Power Hour Tech Talk on Wednesday evening. So get ready to fire up your calendars and mark this coming Wednesday evening, 25 February at 1900 CAT in bold, bright ink, because the next Power Hour Tech Talk is imminent and gearing up to deliver something truly special. We are diving into the world of logging with a session that promises to energize, educate, and elevate your contesting game. And leading the charge is none other than the legendary Philip Fisher, the ZS6 Fox Yankee, a name and call sign that every serious contester in South Africa knows. Philip will be opening the door to the inside track of using the N1MM logger and showing you how to sharpen your accuracy, streamline your workflow, and give your contest station the competitive edge it deserves. Whether you're a seasoned operator or just getting into contesting, this is the kind of knowledge that will transform your operating experience. Grab a pen, as here come the Zoom login details. The broadcast will also be relayed onto the connected repeater network, 145-700 megahertz and Echolink ZS6STN-R. Zoom login details are the following: a meeting ID 853-013-43276. I repeat, the meeting ID 853-013-43276, and the passcode 304951. I repeat, passcode 304951. Please spread the word and join the Power Hour Tech Talk this coming Wednesday evening at 25 February, that's on 25 February at 1900 CAT. Pico Balloon News. A brief update on South Africa's Pico Balloons as of Friday, 20 February 2026. So ZS1 Alpha Fox Bravo -1 is now on its third lap of the Earth while passing south of Australia at an altitude of 12.4 kilometers and at a speed of 186 kilometers per hour. one point, at 400 hours on Friday, it reached 253 kilometers per hour. That's one very fast little pico balloon. And the ZS6SRC-34 pico balloon is off to a slow start, but it is now well underway on its first lap of the Earth, having just passed Brisbane in Australia at an altitude of 12.9 kilometers and traveling at 85 kilometers per hour. So you can see there's a difference in speeds between the various levels, and they're not too far apart, those two. Then the ZS1 Echo Romeo Zulu-12 balloon has met its end after an extraordinary 170 days aloft. It covered over 445,000 kilometers and did 13.5 circumnavigations of the Earth. In its final hours of transmissions, the balloon reported a gradual descent from 13.5 kilometers to just under 6,000 kilometers. A gradual descent from 13.5 kilometers in altitude to just under 6,000 kilometers. It must be meters, followed by a sharp climb back up to 13 kilometers. Approximately an hour later, it began to descend once more. Correlation with data from Ventusky indicates that these pronounced altitude oscillations align closely with a regional low-pressure vortex system. Temperature readings during this period were equally dramatic, fluctuating between minus 31 degrees centigrade and plus 6 degrees centigrade, reflecting the dynamic atmospheric conditions associated with the system. The next item on the agenda is check your ICASA license invoice. ICASA has started the Spectrum licensing invoicing process. Please check that your information on your invoice is correct and check the invoice amount. The SARL secretary has seen an invoice with amounts reflecting 20,000 Rand instead of the 202 Rand for the annual license fee. So please do check and don't just go and check your pay 20,000 Rand to ICASA. That kind of would be a mishap because I'm not sure you would easily get your money back. So yes, please check your ICASA invoice. And from my personal experience, it takes a lot of stress off your shoulders if the SARL is managing your invoice for you, your license for you, and secondly, if you buy a 5-year license. So do consider that, but yes, as you all know, we have to get our licenses done during the first quarter of the year. Next item on the agenda is, do you have an article for Radio ZS? The editor would like to upload the March 2026 Radio ZS on International Milk Tart Day and wants to know if you have an article for this issue. Please do send it in MS Word or Open Office Write format to radiozs@sarl.org.za by Wednesday the 25th of February. A big thank you to Heather, ZS5 Yankee Hotel, Chris, ZS6 Golf Mike, Eddie, ZS6 Bravo November Echo, Helgard, ZS6 Hotel Oscar November, and the Cape Town Arc for their contributions. Next on the agenda is the 2024 solar eclipse. This was an exercise that was done by the Ham Sky, and it caused long changes in long path HF propagation. So let's read more about that 2024 solar eclipse. Changes in long path HF propagation during the April 2024 total solar eclipse was detected with radio amateur and low-cost instrumentation. The total eclipse of 8th April 2024 in the Northern Hemisphere presented a uniquely favorable circumstance for radio science. The moon's shadow passed near Canadian time standard CHU, which transmits in the higher frequency, HF between 3 and 30 megahertz band. It was therefore possible to observe signal changes due to shifting ionospheric conditions along the path of the eclipse by using CHU as a signal of opportunity. In under 3 months, the undergraduate team at the Electrical Computer and Sciences Systems Engineering Department at the Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio, developed and deployed low-cost instrumentation to record CHU for timing and amplitude analysis. 18 units were distributed across 6 locations, roughly aligned with the eclipse path. Each unit contained a radio recorder which retained time traceability to UTC, via GPS time synchronization, allowing capture of the CHU signal with no unbounded error beyond the 50 microsecond sampling interval. 7 units captured changes in the received signal during the eclipse, most notably a 10-fold increase in the signal strength at 7.85 megahertz for a unit in Little Rock, Arkansas. Its timing suggests a one-hop propagation path reflecting in the ionosphere over Cleveland, Ohio. The stations were deployed to and maintained by volunteers, contacted through the amateur radio and citizen science community. This campaign demonstrates the accessibility and effectiveness of research using low-cost instrumentation and the power of citizen science and radio amateurs. The paper was published in Frontiers in Astronomy and Space Sciences. Read more in the March Radio ZS magazine. You are listening to a news broadcast by the South African Radio League. Which club will be featured in March 2026 Radio ZS? To celebrate our radio clubs and everything they do for amateur radio, we would like to honor the clubs. Radio ZS will feature club photos in every 2026 issue. If your club wants a shot at being highlighted in the pages of Radio ZS, here is what you need to do. Get your club members together looking their best. If you have a club t-shirt or goal shirt, perfect occasion to wear them. Consider posing with your club sign or banner. Take high-resolution images. If you are taking photos with a phone camera, please make sure it is set for high quality. Take photos in landscape and portrait orientations, and please do not crop or otherwise edit the photographs. I always do. Type up the names and the call signs of all amateurs pictured, their name and call sign, if applicable, of the person who took the photos, and the full name and call sign of the club. Send your information along with one portrait and one landscape photo to Radio ZS at sarl.org.za. To date, the Sandton and the Saselberg arcs have been featured in the Radio ZS, and nobody was featured in February. So let's get our club up there and photographs and articles into Radio ZS. What an awesome opportunity. Now, a special news flash from ICOM Japan. We introduced the ICOM AH6 antenna tuner to be launched later this year. We are pleased to unveil the AH6, a sophisticated next-generation antenna tuner engineered for HF 250 MHz amateur radio operations at 100 watts of RF power. It's positioned as the definitive successor to the legendary AH4. The AH6 offers expanded versatility over and above the AH4. While it excels with long wire antennas, it now also supports coaxial cable-fed configurations, bridging the functional gap previously occupied by tuners like the AT180 and the AT705. Key enhancements and compatibility. Expanded frequency range. Unlike the AH4, the AH6 officially supports the 1.8 megahertz, 160 meter band, top band, and that contest is coming up fairly soon as well, so maybe get yourself an AH6. Provided is paired with a long wire element of 30 meters or longer. It has broad radio integration. It is designed for seamless plug-and-play operation with industry favorites such as the ICOM 7100, the 7300 Mark II, and the ICOM 7610. It is ready for deployment. Each unit features a 10-meter control cable and a comprehensive mounting hardware kit to ensure a streamlined installation process. The AH6 represents a significant leap forward in tuning flexibility ensuring reliable performance across the bands, whether you are operating in a fixed station or a portable station environment. Oh, so that's interesting to note, a new antenna tuner coming out from ICOM. Moving on to the SARL National Field Day. The Field Day weekend is almost here. Are you getting ready to hit the airwaves? The countdown is on, and with just a little time left to prepare, the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6 Sierra Tango November, is gearing up for an unforgettable weekend on the 14th and the 15th of March 2026. We would love nothing more than to catch your signal and log your call as part of the National Field Day fun. Consider this your friendly nudge and reminder to join the action. Whether you are diving into the competitive spirit or simply hopping on the air for a chat, you are part of what makes Field Day such a vibrant mix of camaraderie, challenge and pure radio enjoyment. ZS6STN will be out in the field, antennas up and ears open, ready to contact you. With only 3 weeks to go, the excitement is building, and the Sandton Amateur Radio Club wishes every operator a fantastic, memorable and contact-filled National Field Day weekend. Yes, ZS6STN will be out there on the weekend of 14 and 15 March, so watch this space. We move on to the propagation report. Hannes Kutsia, ZS6BZP, reports that the solar activity for the week is expected to be at very low levels. And as you know, the higher the solar activity, the higher the effect on the atmosphere and the ionization, and the better propagation we get when our signals bounce off the ionosphere. So there are currently 3 sunspot regions with simple magnetic configurations visible. There is a moderate probability for C-class and low probability for M-class solar flares. If you want to do your own frequency predictions, the expected effective sunspot number for the week will be around 64. Unfortunately, it's quite a drop. The 10 to 30 meter bands may in the mornings and in the late afternoons provide some good DX fun. Please do visit the website spaceweather.sansa.org.za for further information. Hey, now we can understand why we had such poor propagation yesterday. Nothing to do with the rain and our station or anything like that. We can blame the sun. Don't think the sun really cares. But anyway, let's move on to the diary of upcoming events. Today is the ARRL International DXCW competition. On 25 February, don't forget this one. It's the Sandton Power Hour Tech Talk, and that's at 7 o'clock in the evening, 1900 hours CAT, and you are invited. So please get the Zoom details and join us for the Sandton Power Hour Tech Talk, and that will be by Philip ZS6 Fox Yankee on contesting and logging. On the 27th of February is International Milk Tart Day. So be sure to visit your local and buy your milk tart. On 28th February and the 1st of March is the North American RTTY QSO party. On 1 March is the SARL Hamnet 40-meter simulated emergency contest. On the 7th of March is the SARL YL QSO party and the West Rand boot sale. And I did see, I think this coming weekend, it is the boot sale of what's it, I'm getting myself tongue twisted now. Mark will know. I'll hand it over to Mark now so he can give you some information. And I think the Pretoria Flea Market is also coming up, and they'll be at a new venue. That'll be quite exciting too. I think we have posted those invitations on the Sandton Amateur Radio WhatsApp groups, so look out for those. On the 7th and 8th of March is the ARRL International DX SSB contest. That's a fun one to get involved in. And on the 8th of March is the International Women's Day and the YL Parks on the Air event. To conclude our bulletin, here's a recap of the main news story. Get ready to fire up your calendars and mark this coming Wednesday evening, 25 February at 1900 CAT in bold bright ink, because this will be the next Power Hour Talk, and it's going to deliver something truly special. Philip ZS6 Fox Yankee will be opening the door to the inside track of N1MM Logger and showing you how to sharpen your accuracy, streamline your workflow, and give your contest station the competitive edge it deserves. So this concludes the SARL Bulletin for this morning. You have listened to a SARL News Bulletin written and proofread by Dennis Green, ZS6 Bravo Sierra, and read by Keith, ZS6HI. From the SARL News team, best wishes for the week ahead, but don't go away. It's now time for the ZS6STN Club News. So let's start with some birthdays, and I know we've already mentioned some of these, but over the preceding week, we have the following birthdays were held. Elaine ZS6 Alpha Tango on the 18th. Yafran ZR6 Juliet Victor on the 18th. And Barry ZS6 Bravo Alpha Zulu, on the 21st. A Grant ZS1 Alpha Echo Whiskey on the 24th. Candace ZS6 Mike Sierra Papa on the 24th. And the 24th is still coming up, and Kevin ZS6 Bravo X-Ray Tango on the 25th, and Noel ZR6 Delta X-Ray on the 25th. So we just have to say congratulations to Elaine, Yafran and Barry for having their birthdays already, and then Grant, Candace, Kevin and Noel, happy birthday to you for this coming week. We hope you have an awesome one. Right, at this point in time, I would like to invite any other stations, if they have any club news, to now is your opportunity to key that mic, give us your call sign, and to give us some club news. The ZS6STN is listening.
Zulu Sierra 6 Alpha Mike Foxtrot.
The ZS6 AMF, Mark, good morning to you. Please take a round, ZS6STN.
ZS6STN, ZS6 AMF. Keith, yeah, great. Thank you very much for the bulletin. Well received this side. Just wanted to let everybody know that there is actually two things I want to speak about. The first one is the Hamfest Flea Market Camping Weekend. This will be held at the East Rand Club in Arrow Park, Benoni, from the 27th of February to the 1st of March. Everybody is welcome to go and have a look there, and camping is also encouraged. If you guys need any more information, you can contact Stephen, Zulu Sierra 6, Sierra Kilo Yankee, or Wayne, Zulu Sierra 6, Oscar Romeo Bravo for more information. And secondly, yesterday was the first HS assessment of 2026, and I must say it was very successfully conducted under the direct supervision of both Keith, ZS6HI, and Mark, ZS6MDX. Despite some propagation challenges that HS can present, every student rose to the occasion and successfully completed the required 5 QSO contacts. Their performance reflected excellent preparation and confidence on the air, as well as solid operating discipline. We extend our sincere appreciation to all amateur radio operators who made themselves available on the air and generously gave their time to assist the students in achieving their contacts. Your willingness to engage and support truly demonstrates the strength and spirit of our amateur radio community. Additionally, a special word of thanks goes out to Keith, ZS6HI, and Mark, ZS6MDX, for the commitment, mentorship, and guidance. The dedication to developing the next generation of amateur radio operators ensures that the future of our hobby remains strong, skilled, and enthusiastic. Well done to all involved, a proud moment for the club and for amateur radio. ZS6STN, ZS6 AMF.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Mark. Is there any further club news? Anybody else want to come in on club news? I don't know if Gerrit's out there, but I know the RAE is pumping at this moment in time, and as Mark has mentioned, yesterday was the first HF assessment, and there will be another one as well. Is anybody else got any club news that they would like to introduce now? ZS6STN is listening. Okay, nothing heard, so I think it's worth then me just to... I did record a few of the call signs that had conversations with the club members yesterday. I know that a number of people tried as well, but a big thank you to Lee, ZR6 Lima Charlie, Peter, ZS6 Papa Juliet Echo, Richard, ZR6 Delta Echo, Johan, ZS6 Alpha Fox, Graham, ZS6 GL, and he represented the Hammies Radio Club as well, ZS6 Zulu Uniform, and Rex, ZS6 REX. I probably left somebody off the photograph, so a big thank you to Mark, ZS6 AMF as well, and obviously all the students and the lecturers that have been preparing the students for the RAE. I think the students had a good day yesterday, and I think the student left quite late in the afternoon after trying to play on the radio after the rain and the thunderstorms went away. So it was a lot of fun. But anyway, well done to all the students. Everyone got through their HF assessment yesterday. Then a few items worth noting, I believe. So let's just go through. I know we've given some of the SARL information, but it is worth mentioning some of the items coming up in the near future. So we did mention the SARL Hamnet 40-meter simulated emergency contest taking place on the 1st of March. And by the way, if you did compete in the SARL Wednesday 80-meter club contest on Wednesday evening, I managed to join it a little bit late, but please don't forget to submit your logbooks. They are due tomorrow, so you need to get those logbooks in for the Wednesday 80-meter club contest. Then the SARL YL QSO party, that's on the 7th of March. As we've mentioned, SARL National Field Day on the 14th and 15th of March. And the ZS6STN is putting a team together, and they have been working in the background trying to get some new tech to work to help us with our National Field Day logging operations and so on. So it's going to be interesting, and you're most welcome to come out and visit for the day on Saturday the 14th of March if you want to see what's happening out there. Obviously we can't mess with the people that are on the radio, but we can chat and have a beer together and maybe have a braai. You're most welcome to come and put something onto the braai and have something to eat on the Saturday afternoon as well. Sunday is not as great because the Sunday we work in the morning, we join the Bulletin, and then obviously at 12 o'clock the contest ends and we start shutting down the station. But a lot of the club members that are competing will be out there on the Thursday and even coming through on the Friday and setting up the station on the Saturday morning. So you're most welcome to come through and have a look at what happens. And if you want to be a member of the contest team, do put up your hand. That means you're going to get on the radio and you would use the ZS6STN call sign. And you won't be able to then also subsequently use your own call sign for logging and as a contester, because you will be representing the club. But if you can't represent the club, then you're most welcome to use your own call sign and submit your logbook for the National Field Day. It's a lot of fun, so we would like everybody to be on air. Then it is also worth mentioning, on the 1st of March, gives you time to get ready, but it's a Saturday 20-meter club contest, the SARL Saturday 20-meter club contest on the 21st of March, and then the 80-meter QSO party on the 2nd of April, and then over the Easter weekend. And yeah, that was unfortunate. We didn't always look at the dates when the Easter weekend and the contesting was going to be taking place. But on the Saturday, the 4th of April, will be the second leg of the SARL QRP contest. And as you know, that is a contest hosted by the Sandton Amateur Radio Club. And our very own Brandon, ZS6 Lima Zulu, is in the lead at the moment. So we need to see whether we can catch up with his lead and who is going to take the trophy for the year. So congratulations to ZS6 Lima Zulu, Brandon, on the first leg. Let's see who's going to take the trophy for the second leg, and then finally for the entire year. Lots of time for everyone to get involved. Right, at this point in time, I'd like to just take any further news call-ins that I might have missed, and then we will move on to the topic of interest. So I think today I'd like to introduce two little small items and one larger little tech talk item. And that is on how is artificial intelligence expected to transform amateur radio in the next few years. So there are a few papers and articles that have been published on how AI is expected to impact on amateur radio, our hobby. So let's go through some of the top level items that have been mentioned. Firstly, AI enhanced signal processing. So AI-driven DSP is already outperforming digital filters, and this trend will accelerate. What can we expect? Neural network noise reduction that isolates signals from QRM and atmospheric noise. AI demodulators that adapt to fading, multipath, and Doppler. and automatic identification of modulation types and digital modes. Hey, so think about that. Neural network noise reduction. So you won't have to buy all the fancy QRM noise cancellers or go out somewhere isolated to get rid of all the noise on our bands. The AI is going to do that for you. And then fading, multipath and Doppler, where we have signals coming in and Doppler effects, that AI demodulators will take care of that for us. And then automatic identification of modulation types on digital modes. So you don't have to select FT8 anymore or try to decode deeper into the noise, obviously, because they are eliminating a lot of the noise and isolating the signal. HF voice will sound cleaner, even amongst urban QRM. And the SDRs will become smart receivers that classify signals automatically. AI is also expected to introduce smarter propagation prediction. AI models can ingest a lot of data, so a lot of solar data, historical logs, and real-time cluster activity to predict your frequency openings more accurately than the current OVOACAP-style models. So what can you expect? A personalized propagation forecasts based on your station, your antenna, and your noise floor. Real-time predictions that adapt to solar storms and K-index spikes, and automated band recommendation systems. So it'll tell you, for example, that 20 meters will be opening to the EU in 10 minutes' time. Hey, that'll be quite handy. The impact DXOs will rely on AI-driven propagation co-pilots to work with them. Contest stations will optimize band changes automatically, and gray line and maximum usable frequency predictions will become very localized to your location and time precise. AI will also assist with operating and automating some of the operations. So generative AI tools are already helping hams configure their gear, debug issues, and learn theories. What can we expect? AI-guided setup for radios, digital modes, and SDRs. It will help with troubleshooting. It will tell you, for example, that your SWR is too high and what you should check to make sure that your SWR is brought within operating range. Voice-controlled radios and further station automation. It will also generate a number of AI-generated antenna models for all of our NEC-based antenna simulators. The impact is that new hams will learn faster with AI tutors, remote stations will become far more autonomous, and complex multi-radio contest stations will optimize their operations. AI will also impact on education, licensing, and skill development. As we mentioned, generative AI is already being used to create various items, and it includes practice exams, explaining theory, and walking newcomers through setups. What you can expect is personalized study plans for licensing, AI that explains RF concepts at a skill level, and interactive troubleshooting and learning simulators. This means that the barriers to entry of the amateur radio license will drop, and more experimentation and ham-brewing will take place as AI fills those knowledge gaps. AI, as mentioned, will also impact on our antenna and RF system optimization. It will increasingly help with design, tuning, and optimizing antennas. It will help us with automatic beamforming for HF and VHF, real-time antenna tuning based on propagation conditions, and AI-generated antenna geometries optimized for specific goals. This impact will be on portable and QRP operators. We will benefit from smarter adaptive antennas, and our contest and DX stations will use AI-controlled phased arrays. That'll be interesting. So, in-fed half-wave, you're out, AI-controlled phase array, bring it on. That's very interesting. Next item where it will impact is logging, cluster intelligence, and contesting. AI will automate the busy work of operating. So it will help with automatic call sign recognition. So obviously some of our radio programs, when you type in the call sign, will bring up the details of the other operating you're chatting to, and that will be facilitated, even in a far more automated fashion. Real-time cluster filtering, so you can tell it to alert you when VK or ZL appear on 20 meters, because you need them for your logbook or your contest multipliers. It will help with contest strategy optimization. And this thinks back to last year's field day, where we really needed someone from the Limpopo province to make contact with us to get them Limpopo into the logbook. And we got one on the Sunday morning at the last minute. So it will help with that kind of alert. And impact on us will be higher contest scores, cleaner logbooks, because they will be far more accurate and less operator fatigue. So over the next 10 years, by 2028, you can expect AI noise reduction becoming standard in all SDRs. AI propagation prediction apps will become mainstream, and AI-assisted logging and cluster filtering will become widely adopted. By 2030, you may expect voice-controlled radios, AI-optimized antennas for portable and home stations, and real-time adaptive demodulation in HF rigs. And by 2035, it's predicted that you will have 4 autonomous remote stations, AI-driven contest co-pilots, and hyper-accurate propagation models that outperform the VOAC-CAP models, and radios that classify and decode any signal on the band. So AI will make amateur radio more accessible, more powerful, and more experimental without removing the human element. I just also want to mention that, well, that's the Tech Talk, but before we move on, you have seen that the latest NASA Artemis updates. Artemis 2 is expected to launch around the 6th of February, if all goes to plan. The wet dress rehearsal for the Artemis rocket launch was fully conducted successfully on the 19th of February. Okay, and the crew have entered their pre-flight quarantine, the 4 crew that are going to fly. So all their previous issues have been resolved. And then finally, and I have posted it in the WhatsApp group as well, Bouvet Island de-expedition. And for those who don't know, Bouvet Island is a Norwegian dependency in the South Atlantic. It is considered to be the most remote uninhabited island on Earth. 93% covered by glaciers, volcanic. It's volcanic and it's extremely difficult to access. You can only really reach it by helicopter or small boat. And it is ranked number 10 on the Club Log Most Wanted DXCC list. And they are planning to reach Bouvet Island shortly. And there are about 18 to 24 operators led by Lima Alpha 7, Golf India Alpha. And this little de-expedition that they're on at the moment cost in the order of $1.7 million US. They're expected to operate from Bouvet Island for around 21 days. And so try and get Bouvet Island into your logbook. They will be operating on a number of modes, CW, SSB, FT8, and so on. Okay, so go and Google Bouvet Island de-expedition as well. That brings us to the end of the Tech Talk for today. Okay, at this point in time then, we will close the net. So thank you to everyone out there for joining us this morning and listening in on the Bulletin. And for your participation, we trust that you've enjoyed the Bulletin, and please feel free to contribute ideas, comments, or any constructive criticism to info@ZS6STN.org.za. And as always, many thank you to the stations that have assisted with relays and to those who contribute to the content from time to time. Please join us again next Sunday at 8:45 CAT for the regular bulletin of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club. This brings to a close the weekly bulletin of the Sandton Amateur Radio Club, ZS6STN, today operated by Keith ZS6HI from Four Ways in Johannesburg. Thank you to all, and 7-3. ZS6STN now relinquishes all frequencies for general use.